WhatsApp. It's a great communication app, but is it a great work tool or just a fast track to chaos? Are you comfortable giving Meta access to your company's sensitive data? How often key details of productivity here on this podcast, and we'll talk about productivity and WhatsApp, my favorite chat tool. Let's go. And here's Magda with me. Hi, Magda.
Hello, everyone. Indeed, this is 76th episode of our podcast, and indeed we are going to talk about WhatsApp versus Nozbe, and that's mostly because when I'm running my consultations, my demo meetings with potential or even current um, Nozbe users, they confess that they came to us or they are still using WhatsApp for project management. They're often members of 20 or 30 people uh, teams, and they run their projects in chat application, which is WhatsApp. And
Yeah.
they share with me how stressful it is, how annoying it is, how like counterproductive it is. So that we decided to just collect 10 reasons why WhatsApp is cool as a chat, but it's not cool as a project management tool.
But before we start, I want to just put a disclaimer. I'm a big fan of WhatsApp. This is my favorite by far. It's my favorite chat tool on my iPhone. And to prove it to you, I will show you my, home screen on my iPhone. And look, just look. There is like on the bottom there is Nozbe and WhatsApp on both sides
Yes,
here.
the WhatsApp icon is on the front, very first place on Michael's phone.
And I didn't
I
do it
confirm.
for yeah, and I didn't do it for this episode. This is how it is every day for me. I love WhatsApp. Like when we with almost everyone that I communicate with, I communicate through WhatsApp. People even don't know that even when they have iPhones that they have iMessage. They just keep everybody is just using WhatsApp, and especially WhatsApp groups. Like we have groups for almost everything. Like my social network that I post most frequently on is a WhatsApp group with my family. We have a big family WhatsApp group with my both of my parents, my parents, my wife's parents, and then aunts, uncles. Like we have a big WhatsApp family group, and over there we just share updates. We share like when we go somewhere, when we eat somewhere, like we share photos. This way, I don't have to tell everyone, okay, we just landed, or we just took off, or we are just here, we just arrived. Like I can just post on this WhatsApp group, and everybody knows. So it's the best way to have like a private social network, because I don't feel comfortable, sharing my family photos, my kids' photos on social media. And when you check my profiles, there are no kids of mine, and I have 3 daughters, and that's why I prefer to do it this way. And apart from that, I think you can confirm like all the school groups and hobby groups are WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, it's always okay. Let's create the WhatsApp group so that we stay in touch. Parents of any kind of kids groups, class, or any external like after school classes. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, completely. I mean, WhatsApp groups, like everything is just let's create a WhatsApp group. Like birthdays, like we are just organizing birthday for our 9-year-old, and there is a WhatsApp group for that. So it's like also friends, and my trick also is with couple friends. So like couples that we are friends with. So for example, my wife and me, we are friends of another couple. So we create a WhatsApp group for that. This way, it's more like when we post messages there, then both spouses know, for example, where we meet, which restaurant we go, or if we organize something, we everybody knows, because otherwise it was like the wife of my friend would send the message to my wife, and then I wouldn't know. So like it's so it helps with communication.
Communication, like quick chat. Yeah.
Exactly. Also announcements, like there you can create, and there are so many cool features within WhatsApp. Like for example, you can create a WhatsApp group where only admins can post. This way you have
Yes,
like
like the
a,
board announcements
yeah,
board.
like an announcement board, like a bulletin board. So there's, you put updates there, nobody comments. They can only, give you thumbs up or thumbs down, but other than that, nobody comments. So, but this way you can stay in touch. So like, groups for everything. So again, I love WhatsApp. It's on my home screen right there next to Nozbe. um, but it's on the opposite side of Nozbe, because I believe, and we believe, that WhatsApp is great as a private communication tool. And because people have discovered that it has so many cool features regarding communication, they believe that it can be used for project management and organizing, a team or a company. And we have 10 reasons to prove you otherwise.
Hmm. Yeah, because the structure is pretty tricky. In WhatsApp, indeed, you have groups. You have the community, which people treat as kind of project groups or the project. Then you have groups, which people treat as projects, and then you have chat messages, which they treat as tasks. This three-level structure is kind of similar to, for example, what we have in Nozbe or what other project and task management applications have. But this is just for chatting. This is not the structure like this. It's tempting. It seduces people, so they start to run their companies there. And once they are inside, they got used to that. It's difficult to run away, and they are in a trap.
Um, we have a structure of projects, tasks, and comments. And it's exactly a structure that, as you said, a little bit resembles the structure of WhatsApp, but it's different. And we'll talk about it in this episode. And a real time follow up, I just got a message on WhatsApp in my family group that my parents just landed um, uh, to their
Safely.
vacation destination safely.
Mm,
And that's it. Like, they posted one message to this group, everybody knows they landed. Brilliant.
that's cool.
All right. So the first out of 10 points, let's talk about, the boring stuff. So data security. I mean, the boring stuff for private use, but actually not so boring for business use, because WhatsApp is owned by Meta. Meta means Facebook, means Mark Zuckerberg, a guy who's been proven to be of questionable ethics when it comes to business. And Meta has been, proven and caught red-handed of using data in very weird ways. And even though in WhatsApp all the messages are end-to-end encrypted, everything around the messages is not. So all the interactions, they do the social graph. And even worse, when you decide to use WhatsApp, you have to basically sign a deal with the devil, because you have to give access to all of your contacts to Meta,
All of your contacts, yeah, that's
all
true.
of them.
Mm. They
And
also try to make you give them the access to all of your photos. But here you can negotiate.
yes, so when you're listening to this podcast, if you have to just take one tip and you're using WhatsApp, please don't give access to all of your photos, because then Meta will download all of your photos and all of the data about your photos, and it will know when you were, where you were, like with everything. So what you can do is not to give them access to photos. But then, of course, if you want to share a photo in WhatsApp, you have to
Do some
either
extra steps.
do some extra steps. Either you have to, give them extra permission for these particular photos, or better yet, you go to Photos, you click Share, and then you share with a WhatsApp group or with a person on WhatsApp. So you have to go from the photos to WhatsApp instead of in WhatsApp choose a photo. I know it's
Yeah,
more
or you can do this because usually I do this, I don't know, out of habit because I just add an attachment, choose the photo, then you go to your gallery, but then it's blocked because you didn't give WhatsApp the access. So you have to press on manage your photos, then you go and give the access to this particular one, and only then it can be uploaded to your message. It's like takes 3 or 4 more seconds, but at least you have the satisfaction that you are not sharing all of your memories with Meta.
Yes, completely. And uh, so that I would do. Also, again, your attachments or whatever you send through WhatsApp is encrypted. So that's great. But the name of the file, who you sent it to, all that stuff, Meta knows. They know. So, so that's why it is, and then of course, all this data goes through, God knows which servers. Like it goes through American servers. I don't know where they have servers. They have proven over and over that data they, ship it around the world through different servers. They crunch the data, so you never know actually. And eh, um, when you start downloaded WhatsApp, you agreed to terms of service, which are like this and this. I mean thickness when you print them out. So and of course, I'm sure you have read them through. Yeah, and contrary to that, Nozbe has a different motivation. Like for example, our any uh, project
Any
management
project, yeah.
provider, but I mean, I'm talking about our application. We have a different motivation. We we care about your data in a way that we want this to be safe. There is no other ulterior motive. We don't crunch your data. We don't go through your data. We've been in business 18 years, and we have this trust with our users that we don't go through their data, and we don't, we just keep it safe and make sure that it's there. And we have all the backup technology. We have servers only in the EU this way, but still, delivered very fast through the internet. So even if you're not an EU user in the European Union, you can still access your data very, very fast. So we have all that. So because we adhere to GDPR, which is the most strict privacy policy in the world, and because of that, our motivation is different. We want to keep your data safe. So if you want to use a tool for business, you have a choice between WhatsApp and then giving lots of data to Meta, or Nozbe and giving data. I mean, making sure that the Meta the data is safe with you.
That's right. And apart from the danger coming from Meta and Mr. Mark, you are also the source of danger. I mean, your just lack of attention. For 1 second, you can think that you are sending a very, very important professional attachment or message to your professional group, but by mistake, you tap and it goes to this school group where 60 parents will now see your top secret attachment that was directed to, I don't know, your lawyer or someone when you have your work stuff in WhatsApp. So this is also the problem, because it's not your fault, it's just so quickly the column with the
With the
messages with
chats.
chats, it's changing, because in any time you can receive a new incoming message, and then what you think was at the top 1 second ago, now it's on the second position, and you tap and ta-da.
Here, Robert, hi, Robert, is commenting that the worst part of WhatsApp is that if someone shares a photo on WhatsApp, it appears in your phone gallery. There is a setting for that in WhatsApp, but for some reason, for Robert, it doesn't work. So it's even worse. In my case, I had to disable it. I had to go to WhatsApp settings to make sure that when somebody shares a photo, it doesn't stay. It doesn't save in my photo gallery automatically. And also to remember that photos shared via WhatsApp are very much compressed. So they're not the best quality. So if you want to send somebody high quality photos, don't share them via WhatsApp, share them via different means, So just to also give you a heads up. So that's why it is tricky. It is tricky with WhatsApp and with the data security, but there's more.
Yes. So that was about security. The second point that we think should make you avoid WhatsApp for work is the fact that although there is this structure that we mentioned at the beginning, this structure is tricky, and it's definitely not. It doesn't scale. It's the scalability here is a problem, because when you start and you have indeed 3 chats with 2 people, you think it's going to be well, because you have 3 chats dedicated to different aspects of your small company or business, or something that you want to do. But then you add more people, there are more messages. You add one more thing, you have more groups. Every group Oh, it even if I think of it, I get a stomachache. It's so dangerous for my, for our well-being.
Completely. And the thing is that also, if you know, if a message, let's say, is a task, like somebody on a message writes that he or she wants you to do something,
Mhm.
good luck finding this task after a day or two, let alone a month,
For months.
or 4 months. Whereas in Nozbe, there is a structure of project tasks and comments, so you can find these tasks, the old tasks and everything, very very easily. um, and
Because it doesn't move so quickly. Of course, people can add new comments in particular tasks in Nozbe or any other application, but it's still there. It doesn't change very quickly, and you can easily find it because you know that this thing was in this project, in this task, and then you just scroll or look for it
yeah, but even
manually.
even better, like in Nozbe, the task uh, can be seen in many ways, not only in a project, like this is the basic structure: projects, tasks, and comments. But a task can have tags, can have a due date. So if it has tags, you can see it in the tag view. If it has a due date, you can see it in the calendar. If it has a responsibility, like somebody's responsible for it, you can see it in somebody's
Yeah, if
task
it's your
list.
task, you can just go through your tasks and you'll find it there in a calm environment without this stress that it will disappear in a second, that it will just get lost in some
You'll be
tons
like,
of other messages.
let me catch this task. Oh, it's away. It's
Stop, stop.
away. Stop.
Yes,
So
sometimes even when I try to find something like search in conversation, there is this option which is pretty practical, but not for work reality. And sometimes I find this phrase that I want to find, but then when I tap on it, it scrolls automatically, and I try to tap on this to read it what I wrote 3 months ago, but then it's, I don't know, it like moves and it scrolls automatically. And yeah,
yeah,
maybe there is some small bug, but it's not comfortable. And you shouldn't do this at work, because at work you should have reliable thing, and you should be able to find your archive, find the stuff that you need for your work and any resources, extra files, without any problem, not in stress.
so exactly. So the structure is lacking, and this scalability. Just if you have just more people, it doesn't work. And you've had demos with bigger teams using WhatsApp, and they are going crazy. That's why they talk to us now, because they're going crazy and they cannot manage it all. So number three that comes a little bit from that is that
Yeah.
there is like no planning, no priorities. Like how do you know that this particular task in a chat message is a priority for you? Like how do you know? How do you get
How
it?
do you know that it's for you, and how do you know when should you should do this? How can you memorize like tens of messages that you are assigned to? Assigned, I mean, someone says, "Please do this," but you don't have any trace of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the way it wasn't designed for this kind of thing.
Again, let's talk about this. No, WhatsApp is a great chat program, but chat programs have a different motivation. They are motivating to keep talking, to keep chatting.
Mhm.
Whereas, uh, well, we'll get to that, but Nozbe is about to keep doing things. But we'll get to that. Exactly. Number four, WhatsApp doesn't lead to action. It doesn't, the idea, like the motivation, the design is to keep having the conversation. Meta, Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg, they are motivated so that you keep using WhatsApp, that you don't leave WhatsApp, that you don't
Yeah,
leave.
they even called it WhatsApp, which means what's up.
What's
So
up?
yeah, so they just want you to keep the water cooler there, and then just to have a general conversation, not assign tasks, create deadlines, add tags, have serious planning going on in this application. It's impossible just out of the design of the application.
Completely. And we always have been on this show saying that Nozbe is not, I mean, it is a task manager or project manager, but it's basically task doer. The idea is that Nozbe wants to push you to get tasks done. So you get them done because you discuss in the comments of the task to make sure that you reach the point where you can get it done. Like just today, I was reviewing several tasks before this show, and it gave me so much satisfaction to review tasks in my incoming, for today, that some of them were already done. Like they were like, I just caught up with the discussion and everything, but they were already done. They were already accomplished, and this kind of sense of satisfaction of getting it done, moving things forward, is a bit different than the sense of where is this? Where is this? Why is everybody so loud? Why there are so many messages? It's a
Yeah,
different vibe.
it's kind of misleading. Again, I will get back to this tricky interface that is created out of community chats and then messages. Um, and it's Nozbe is very similar. Yes, we also have projects which are like big folders for stuff. Then we have tasks that are smaller drawers or smaller folders like you have on your computer. It's the context. This is the to help you find the keep and organize things. And then you have comments, and these comments at this place, Nozbe becomes your WhatsApp, but only here when you are supposed to exchange messages, information to discuss the topic. Here you can treat Nozbe as WhatsApp because it's very quick. Our like our engine is really quickly synchronizing. So when I mention someone or when I send a message to someone, it will go very quickly. If they have the
Mhm.
notifications turned on their phone, they will be informed right away, like on WhatsApp. The difference is that here everything is well organized. It stays in a safe place in the context. Yeah.
Completely. And the cool thing is that even if a task has many, many comments, it doesn't affect other tasks. Like,
Oh,
it can, I mean, the task next to it can have just two comments, and that's fine. Like, exactly which comments. I mean, the comments. It's like I checked recently when I was doing my weekly review. I realized that there were only two or three tasks that I found
mhm.
where the comments kind of derailed. Like they were like, about something else in the end. So we actually had to create a new task because the comments,
Okay.
went off.
Mhm.
But other than that, normally it doesn't happen. Normally the discussion is very focused. Normally the discussion, the WhatsApp discussion in the comments in the task in Nozbe, is very focused because it's about getting this particular task done. And and
Yeah, everything turns around this core thing, which is the task that should be done by particular person in particular time.
yeah, I mean, we have this joke, because we are also using, for chit chat in our in our company, we are using the free version of Slack, and we're using the free version of Slack because there is, after 3 months, we don't have the or
The
1 month, I don't
history.
remember, the chat history, but we don't care because the important things are in Nozbe, so we don't care about chat history because we want the history to be in the comments to the tasks. So
Yeah,
we use
but
the
still we are now going away from Slack because we
yes,
have messages in Nozbe, so it's
exactly. So we
more and more rarely that we use it.
yeah, we keep using it less and less now. And the idea is this, that because we have messages in Nozbe, we have moved basically, for example, one-to-one messages, uh, like most of them I'm sending through Nozbe. But what I'm saying is that um, we had this when we were using Slack a bit more, we were always laughing that in Slack, the thermodynamic dynamics of Slack, the law of thermodynamics of Slack means that every channel, doesn't matter what's the name of the channel, at the end is a random channel. Like at the end,
Yeah.
we are talking about random stuff. Like even though the chat in the beginning, the channel is kind of focused for this particular thing, and the end, like it goes to random. So
It's true.
so that's why it's very similar in WhatsApp. Like, when you chat about stuff, like the important information goes away so quickly because there are chats that give, you know there's this signal versus noise ratio. There is like not much signal, lots of noise. And at work, and we have talked about this here on this podcast, we want to promote deep work, focused work. We want to promote Signal, not noise.
Yeah, as a interesting thing to say, Michael and I we recently heard that in one of Polish hospitals, the hospital team, I mean the surgeons, the nurses,
Yeah.
the staff, they are using WhatsApp for communication. So I thought that probably they have many communities in WhatsApp, and then they have many dedicated groups, like the group chats. But no, they have just one group chat where everything is. Like you
Oh
can
man.
find the special photos with the preparation for very, very serious operations, some information that someone has birthday, or the
All
information when
mixed
the,
together.
yeah, in one conversation. And
Oh
they are
man.
just using it for work. This is their main communication channel for
Oh
the
man.
serious hospital. And they're like the photos of some for operations with some horrible stuff. They are mixed with some responsibilities given to the nurses or to other staff. And I was asking, okay, the lady who is a member of this group chat, like, how can you cope? And she said, oh, I got used to that. She's like the person, not the the Gen Z, but probably older person. So they just, I just remember. I don't have problems with remembering all that stuff. So really respect. But
Yeah, but
that just made us create this particular episode of our podcast even more
yeah, I
when
mean,
we heard that.
we've been talking about this. Like, if you're trying to remember things, keeping things in your mind is not getting things done. It's not productivity. Like, you have to have them in your trusted system. And if your trusted system is a chaos, and you have to remember, distinct messages from one message thread, then it's weird.
Yeah, I thought like if someone made me to use WhatsApp for work, I would probably have to have another tool
Yes.
for noting those things. If someone assigned something to me through WhatsApp, I wouldn't be able to create, as we said, a deadline or
No.
write any notes about it. So I would have to note it in other tool anyways,
Yes.
to plan and to have the strategy and deadline and all the needed information for that task. Anyways, this is just me complaining. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's before we move to number 6, which is very, very important, let's hear from one of our Nozbe users why they also choose Nozbe.
Some sort of project management software that could help me have a set up really trusted system.
JJ Robertson. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am a holistic health coach focusing on weight loss and fat loss. And I've used Nozbe every day in my personal life and in my business life. So Nozbe really helped me out with organizing my life and keeping me focused. And in the past, with different businesses, I've used everything: Trello, Asana, all the major getting organized things. And I've always come back to Nozbe for my own personal use whenever I had a chance. I've always introduced Nozbe to different businesses because it just works.
Exactly. And actually, JJ mentions, how did he know that we'll be talking about the 6th point, which is personal and work messages all mixed together. And this is like the crucial, like what we've mentioned, this already in the point number 1 about data security, but it's even worse. Like, if you have if you are like me, a father of 3, you are in countless WhatsApp groups, like countless, like so many. So like you are being bombarded with messages all the time. And I remember I had this lapse of judgment that I actually volunteered to be on, in our school, in the parents association, which was interesting. It was an interesting
Experience.
experience. Yes, because I thought we were there as parents to help improve things at school for our kids, but in the end, there was lots of, nano politics, small politics, and I wasn't, I didn't sign up for this. But anyway, I remember that period of time. So we also had, vibrant WhatsApp groups, and I had to be in these groups because of my position. I was the secretary of our parents association, and I remember they were like the president of our association was talking to me, and what was talking to me was talking down to me, saying, "Michael, you're not responding to my messages." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you're sending them at like, at 1 p.m. At 1 p.m. I'm at work. I will not be responding to your messages at 1 p.m. I can respond to them later, after work." And she didn't get it. She was like, "Yeah, but you have your phone all the time. Like, why don't you just..." Again, is the well, I could tell her the whole thing about context switching, whatever. Like, I was like, "Come on, man. Like, I'm at work. After work, I will get to that." And I remember how hard it was for me to create this boundary. And just think about it. If you are like me in these groups, and then you still use the WhatsApp groups for your work, like, how can you focus to do anything, to get anything done?
Yeah.
It's
This it's having everything in one place, especially with the notifications on and with many groups, as you said, messages coming in, people who are, some of them has strange communication culture. And for example, instead of giving reactions underneath the message, they create a new message with a thumb, which
Yes.
also makes the noise, the notification sound come in. If you don't set the notifications, we'll continue talking about it later on. It creates such a noise and such a stress that it's impossible. And also we have this danger that we mentioned in the point number 1, that you can confuse by mistake and send something private to the work related group, which is also not very good for your productivity and data security.
And that's why, for example, in Nozbe, we have spaces, workspaces, where you can
Mhm.
have your company workspace and your personal workspace. And many of our users don't know about it. We'll be redesigning a little bit the main screen on Nozbe in a future update, because we want to promote. So you've heard this here first. If you are not using it, everybody who is in a premium space, or is an owner of a premium space, or is participating in any workspace, by their company or team or whatever, they can add their private
Mhm.
workspace for free. And it, again, Nozbe, and this one private workspace is free for up to 3 people, 3 projects, and 3 project sections in these projects. So it's perfectly fine to, invite your spouse, or or your partner, to that space, and get your private stuff organized, get your family chores, your vacations, like get everything like this organized in the same app, in the same structure of projects, tasks, and comments. You can
Yes, it's like a bonus from us. If
yeah,
you are a part of a premium space, every user of the premium space can create a free space with
yes,
some
exactly.
limitations. But as Michael said, it's really convenient for small stuff. It should be enough to run a regular household, or
Oh man. And
yeah.
then you have unlimited, I mean, you have 3 projects and 3 project sections, but you have unlimited tasks. So it's really like for private use, it's perfect. And for the families that I've heard use Nozbe, they love it. They love it because it's in the same app. So the app, they know how it works. They know how all the structure works, like setting deadlines, delegating a task to a spouse, like it all works. And
Mhm.
way, and it's there, and it's in a different space. So there is no way for you to confuse if you're creating a task for your wife or creating a task for your business partner.
Yeah, that's right. Our next point is notification nightmare, and this is what I started to talk about. The team that I've been recently giving some small demo and training on Nozbe, uh, they are a 20 or 30 people team who for the last 2 years they've been running their business in WhatsApp. And one of the ladies was really like anti. She was very like rebellious. She didn't want to move from WhatsApp to Nozbe because she was finding many reasons uh, mm, that were not in favor of Nozbe.
Yeah, but
But
people are
one
very
her
reluctant to change. Yeah.
yeah, but then her friend, she told her, but Dorota, listen, if you send the message asking about something random, not related to my work, to Tom, and then Tom replies you in our main conversation where we all are in, I keep getting ping, ping. I keep getting the notifications and I cannot turn them off because maybe my boss will want something from me. So I have to be vigilant and I have to be stay tuned all the time. So how it's counterproductive. I'm really tired with that. And she said, yes, but you can ignore it. Probably if someone wants something from you, they will write a private message to you. But she said, no, like most of the stuff we are doing in the main chat group because everyone should has access and should be able to see what's going on. So like it was I really felt sorry about those people. How stressful every day has to be for them.
Completely. And for example, one of the pro tip of using WhatsApp is whenever they add you to a group, because this is a normal procedure. Like people don't ask you for permission to add you to the group; they just add you to a group.
add you.
So, yeah, I mean, there is no again in Nozbe. If if you create a project within a team, then also people add you to the project. But if people from the outside want to invite you, they have to invite you and they have to accept the invitation. Here, there is no invitation. You are being just added randomly by random people to random groups. And whenever it happens, the first thing is that I check if the group is relevant to me, and then I go to notifications of this group. It's like you go to settings, notifications, mute all, always. Like you have to do all these steps, like 5 taps, to make sure that you will not receive push notifications from this group, because things can get out of hand quickly. People
That's true, but then you are out of control here. Yeah? If there is something really important, if people start to decide on something that you want also to decide on, but then you miss it because you didn't have your notifications on, then you feel sorry, and then you feel that WhatsApp is really a nightmare for some of the stuff.
But I go to WhatsApp, every few hours. So then I review these groups and check the messages. Of course, if I see a group with like 50 messages, I'm like, okay, I'll do it, in the evening. So maybe then I miss on like an important decision that has been decided while I was ignoring this thread.
Mm-hmm.
But that's true. But that's the sacrifice. I mean, there's the trade-off I have to take. Otherwise I will go crazy.
But this is the trade-off that you can do with your school-related mothers and fathers talking about what present we should give to our tutor, but not with your work stuff. You shouldn't turn off notifications for your work stuff. And if you have several or even like, I don't know, dozen of group chats, then it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, you told me about this, the other day when you were talking to this other team using WhatsApp, that at some point one of the managers left some of the groups.
But then because she couldn't bear.
But when she left the groups, she didn't know what was happening, and that's the difference. When you leave the group, you don't know what's going to happen, and then when you come back to the group, you have missed that part, because WhatsApp will not show you the messages that happened in between. It's like you're being freshly invited to an empty group, basically. Mm-hmm. So it's completely different to when you have a project in Nozbe and you can follow it with 1 tap. You can unfollow it with 2 taps, just settings, unfollow. That's it. There is no more steps. And even if you go to the project later, you will be able to see what's going on, what happened, what were discussions, which discussions you did see and which you didn't see with the blue dot we show you. So you are on top of things. So you can have much more fruitful and much more less noisy work with Nozbe, where you get notifications only with the important stuff, a delegation, incoming. And
you can choose, you can choose. You can go to settings, notifications, and you can toggle the thing. And for tasks for today, task assigned to you, the reminders, mentions, group mentions. You can decide for which you want to receive push notifications and have the sound on your computer or on your phone. And you can't choose that in WhatsApp.
completely. So notifications, nightmare. Like with WhatsApp, it's a fight. um but there's more. And this point, like, it's number 8, but it's really important to our hearts, and very important to our heart. Is that we have been promoting on this podcast from the day one, from the first episode, asynchronous work. Asynchronous work means, I do some work, I send you, Magda, my task and my comments, and I know and I trust you that at some point you will get to it. And the same goes back. You write some comments and you trust that at some point Michael will eventually reply to my comments and will tell me, and will give me his feedback. Or if not, then I will just go forward with it. But anyway, there is like it's asynchronous work. And for that, I don't need to disturb you. I don't need to actually even mention you much. Like, I can just write a comment. Very often I write the comment without mentioning you at all, if this comment is not really important. Like, if you ask me for feedback, then yes, I mention you, Magda, this is like, this is my feedback. But if I'm just giving you a random unsolicited feedback to a task that you've been working on, I don't even mention you there, because I just trust that at some point, before you get this task to done, you will read my comment, and that's it. So it's very calm, very thoughtful.
Of course, it's not possible in all of the workplaces to have this kind of communication, asynchronous one, because in some places the temperature is higher and maybe the action has to be quicker. But whenever and wherever it's possible, we try to promote it. And this is not possible in a chat application. This is possible in a tool that is designed for that, as Nozbe, because this asynchronous communication, as Michael said, is our favorite thing. And we think this is like one of the pillars of productivity. It lets people focus, stay focused, which is difficult nowadays. So yeah, it protects our attention span. And yeah, but also it's not so, okay, in Nozbe we will have asynchronous work. It requires some agreements, like between team members, and some, like, introducing some communication policy. First, we have to agree and promise to each other that we will go to Nozbe, especially to the incoming view, regularly. Once we are done with our focused work, we have to go there, just to make sure people who are waiting for our response will get them eventually. Because if not, if you from one focused task you will move on to another block of deep work, there are people waiting. So that's unfair. Yeah, so you have to promise to each other that you will regularly go to incoming if you don't want to be disturbed by WhatsApp messages or by phone
But
calls.
think about it. Like, what you're asking me to do is to go to my incoming section, which usually has between, like, every day, more or less, it has between 10 and 20 tasks that need my attention, and not 100 or hundreds of messages
Exactly.
that I have to go through. It's a different beast altogether. And what I really like, there are some people that I really like, but I don't like their way of communicating. Like, because and it's not their fault. Sometimes it's just the fault of the chat program, is that because there is just a very small window, when you hit enter, the message is sent. So I get this thing like, hey, enter, message. You there? Message. Got a second? Message. I have a question. Message. So I got 4 messages.
And 4 ding,
4 ding, 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 ding. And I have no idea what they want from me. I'm like, come on, man, let me know what you want.
Yeah, but it's a chat. They have right to do this.
Exactly. That's why even in Nozbe messages, when you think about it, when you look at Nozbe messages, we have designed them like this, that we are using the same comment, field as in comments to tasks, because we want the messages to be more, like, thorough. Like, to send a message in Nozbe, you have to hit Command or Control in Windows, enter, and when you hit enter, you just move to a new line.
Next line.
Next line.
Which
So this
in
way,
WhatsApp, it doesn't work like that. In WhatsApp, when you press enter or
it just goes.
it just goes. So it's being sent. So it it motivates people to
To do
send
this.
those numerous short
Yeah.
messages.
Or just like you mentioned, somebody, instead of giving a thumbs up, they send a thumbs up, message. So it's like,
Mm.
creating lots of noise. So that's why WhatsApp really is not for asynchronous work. Uh, and Nozbe is in that sense because, this is what we believe in. This is what we think. And again, that's great. Like WhatsApp is for communication, different motivation, and it's great. It's a great application, but not for work.
Yeah, again, this is like the motives of the creators, as you said at the beginning, that the authors of developers of WhatsApp, they want us to stay there as long as possible and chat as much as possible, while we, designers of Nozbe, we want you to write and then move on to getting things done. So
Exactly.
that's
So,
the design.
so number 9, we are getting very close to the end of this, but as you see, it's a very complex problem when you talk about productivity and an app like WhatsApp. File management. I mean, again, the good thing is that the files are encrypted on WhatsApp servers, but the name of the files, the type of the files, Meta knows about them. They know all. And then again, how do you know which file is the latest version? Which one you should work on? Like, how do you find the file after it has been sent and there will 100 messages after that? Like, how do you manage files in WhatsApp? Do you?
It's really difficult, and indeed they have this search in the conversation or search for files, and then you have the separate view with only graphics or pictures that has been sent there. But yeah, that's not enough for work, in my opinion.
Yes, completely. And they have this very cool setting that when you go to a group, to a chat thread, you can see which files have been sent there. So it helps. We are actually working on a similar feature in Nozbe. So you could
Yeah,
see.
that's my dream. Many users and
Yeah,
included me are waiting for it, but it will be in
it's coming.
someday.
It's coming. It's coming. So we're working on it right now. Um, so that's
That's a good thing,
That's a
but
good thing, but still,
otherwise,
it's really hard. And in Nozbe, because again, this the structure: projects, tasks, and comments. In the comments, there are files, and just by seeing which file was added the latest, you know that this is the latest version. You don't have to guess which one you should be working on or which one you should update. And
Mhm. And if you have your OneDrive or Dropbox and soon Google Drive integration turned on, then the problem is even smaller because the
yeah,
versions are like updating within the file because they are being changed on Dropbox or on OneDrive. So
exactly.
that's
So you
even
can just
better.
attach the file once, and this is the latest version, because if you update it on Dropbox or OneDrive,
It will
uh,
be updated in Nozbe.
exactly. So this is again very, very useful and very, very productive. Okay, so let's go to number 10.
Yeah, the last point, we are coming to an end. It's related to reporting, analyzing, tracking progress. In WhatsApp, there are no options and features for that because it's not created for working and progressing. It's for chatting. It's difficult even if someone asks you to do something or informs you that now you are responsible for something in WhatsApp. It will be impossible for them to check how you are doing, what's the status, what have you done so far, unless they write a question in a group chat or in a private message. But that's such a waste of time. The
Exactly.
advantage of Nozbe is the fact that we have projects, preferably the projects to which everyone who needs the access, they have the access, and they at any moment they can go and check how you are doing on the task they delegated to you.
Yes,
That's
and
created for that.
exactly. So like in WhatsApp, there is no way to track accountability, to see what's going on. In uh, uh, in in Nozbe we have so many tricks, that you can do. That there are just reminders that you can check have a reminder on a task to see if when it pops up that if somebody's working on a task to see
Mhm.
how it's going. You can just
Mhm.
click on a person to see their tasks and see how they're progressing. You can
Create status tasks as we
create
do.
status tasks, which we discussed in the one of the previous episodes of this show. um, use tags as something that as a way to see how things are going. So there's just so many ways to do that, so many ways to track it. And in that sense, reporting is something that we've been working on, and we keep on working because our clients demand it. They want it. They want more reporting, and we have some cool ideas how to make it even better.
We already have cool functions and
Yeah.
features like statistics in every project. You can go to statistics and check what percentage of tasks have been done, and
Mhm.
um, you can activate your email reports, productivity reports that will be sent to your individual to you. Regarding your individual productivity, if you are a space owner or space admin, you can activate and order the weekly or daily productivity reports for your whole team. So there are ways to see how people are doing, what's their productivity rate, and to see how many tasks were started, were done, um, how many projects were created, how many projects were completed. It's all possible because Nozbe is for doing things, so probably managers want to see how things are being done. And
Yeah.
in WhatsApp, it's just impossible. There are no features for that because the developers didn't think people would use their tool for managing very important projects in big companies.
Again, it's not for that. Like, this is completely not the use case. And that's why it's so weird for me also when people use Slack or Microsoft Teams as a way to, as a hub of communication, because again, it's unstructured.
Yeah.
And WhatsApp just is just even worse. But these other tools are not much better. And
Mhm.
we will talk about them in the future, but probably at some point. But in that case, the WhatsApp is the go-to for, especially for mobile phones. And speaking of mobile phones, WhatsApp can be used only on one mobile phone. You cannot use it in if you have two phones. For example, a company phone and your private phone. Like, you have to use you will have to be because two different WhatsApps with two different numbers. Like, there is no way to install WhatsApp, the same WhatsApp, on two phones. You can install WhatsApp now on the iPad and on the Mac and Windows.
Mhm.
I have installed on my iPad, and I'm starting to regret it. So I will
I
probably
can imagine with the
remove
number
it.
of groups you have it.
Exactly.
And
So I'll.
iPad is your work tool.
Oh yes, completely. And I'm thinking of moving the first step. I'm gonna disable the badge for notifications, and just disable notifications for WhatsApp on the iPad. So this way, I don't get the FOMO there, but I get the benefit of opening WhatsApp and just typing faster. So maybe that, we'll see, but probably after a week it's going to be gone. But anyway, um, so what I said, it can be used on the one phone, and many people have two phones. But it's even worse. Here, our listener, Angie, she just wrote that I just have a new phone and super stressful that WhatsApp didn't save any of my client messages. Um, Everything's blank, and in WhatsApp there is a setting again. If to enable, for example, on iPhone, to have iCloud backup of the messages. And when I was moving my parents, so even when I was moving my parents' WhatsApp to a new phone, I had to make sure that I have the backup up to date. And then when I logged into the new WhatsApp on the new phone, I had to restore from backup to make sure that I can restore from backup. So this can be done, but it's very tricky. And so, Angie, if you have access to your old phone, you can try to see if there is a backup, or if you can still perform a backup. But probably it's been already days, and you have new messages coming in. So yeah, it's stressful. Uh, in the Nozbe's case, you have a new phone, you log into your Nozbe account, you have access to everything. You have access to your projects, you have access to your tasks. Everything is up to date, and Nozbe syncs automatically between all of your devices. So um, it's all it's all very well integrated, and the cool thing is that uh, you're not going to lose anything. And again, if you have two phones, you have the company phone and private phone, you can still use one Nozbe account. And for example, on the private phone, have the private workspace open, and on the company phone have the company workspace open, and you can use Nozbe like this without creating an additional Nozbe account or whatever. So it's much better, and it's much more structured this way. So Angie, I'm really sorry for that, but yeah, this is why these kind of tools. I mean, not if WhatsApp has some of these features that Robert and Angie have been complaining in this episode, but you have to find them. You have to make sure that they work, and sometimes they don't. So it's like again, for them, these were not priorities. Priorities for them is to keep the chat going. That's the metrics. And if you follow Meta and Facebook, for them the engagement is the number one metric. Everything else doesn't matter. In our
And
case,
also, I thought that.
Mhm.
Sorry, finish up.
No, I just want to finish that. In our case, we have a different motivation. We are motivated to make sure that you have access to all of your data. We make sure that you have client messages or messages from your clients in the tasks, that they are syncing, and that you have access to them.
And we want to make sure you are taken care of, while I imagine that the support in Meta
There
is
is no
difficult
support
to deal with it. So even if you lose everything that you collected and that you worked on with your clients, they will just not give any attention to it. And I'm thinking how interesting it had to be for the creators of WhatsApp to realize that people started to use their tool for chat for like huge companies and to manage work management. Probably that has to be a big surprise for them. But I'm really I keep thinking why people are doing this to themselves, why they decide to run their companies, 20, 30, 40 people companies in WhatsApp, which is dedicated for chatting. And the only thing that I come up with is because this is a free application. But still, I think this is a huge thing.
Okay, so let's talk about
it.
Let's talk about the cost of this application. It's not free. I mean, it is free. Like, you're not paying anything to Meta.
Any subscription, but
any subscription, nothing. You're not paying anything.
The actual costs, there are costs.
They have this phrase in American English: the cost of doing business. So the cost of doing business with WhatsApp, it's substantial, because the stress, anxiety of your workers, the hours they lose searching through messages to find relevant information,
or thinking that there is something important for them, but apparently this is someone who gave the thumb up for someone else's information. And
so on top of that, the hours they lose of not having deep work sessions because they are being bombarded by WhatsApp notifications, all of that has a cost. Like an hourly rate of the cheapest hourly rate in the US, it's $8. So it's $8 per hour. Nozbe costs $8 per month or less per user. So yes, you have to pay for Nozbe if you want to use the premium version. I mean, and up to 3 people, it's for free. But if you use the premium version, you have to pay $8. But then you get it back in hours of saved hours of productivity, of calm communication, of deep work, of finding things easier, like in all of that. So just, again, think about the cost of doing business, the cost of running a free tool that is free because it's not being paid for. But other than that, it's not free at all.
Yeah.
So to summarize, let's go through all of these points. First, data security, it's questionable. Second, no structure, no scalability. Third, no planning, no priorities.
No priorities, no deadlines, no delegation.
Fourth, doesn't lead to
WhatsApp
action.
Doesn't lead to action. It's for chatting, not for mobilizing you to get things done.
Fifth,
You lose context instantly. It's so difficult to find what has been done in the past in the long and very quick threads in the chat.
6, personal and work messages all blend together, completely unstructured. 7,
Notification nightmare.
bing, 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 bing. 8, WhatsApp is not for asynchronous work at all.
And project management apps are.
And 9,
File management and data management and knowledge management.
and
Total
10,
mess.
no reporting whatsoever, no review options, and
No
bonuses.
progress tracking.
Yeah. And you can log in to your Nozbe account on a new phone and just get instantly all of your data back and keep being productive. You have to wait just a few seconds. So,
While WhatsApp is a really great application for chatting.
yes,
Michael is a walking
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have, arrived that far, we are 1 hour in. I'm going to just keep you here 1 more minute. There is a WhatsApp history in our Nozbe history, because when we were designing new Nozbe after Nozbe Classic, in Nozbe Classic, there were comments also to tasks, but the latest comment was on top. While we were building and designing new Nozbe, we realized that we are chatting more within the task. We're communicating more. And then I came up with this idea that we have to inverse the thing, so that when you go to a common thread, you see the latest is at the bottom, not at the top, because when you scroll and read, it's just faster, easier, and more productive.
Mhm.
And it was because I was using WhatsApp like this, and I was like, let's do what WhatsApp does here. That's why Magda said several times today that Nozbe has the WhatsApp component within the task.
Yeah, when you come to comment section, Nozbe can be your messenger, your WhatsApp, your whatever. Because here, when the conversation and quick chat can take place, but in a context.
Exactly. So again, the structure of tasks. To our show, thanks for live listeners for their questions and engagement. And let's get productive, and don't use WhatsApp for project management. Use it for chatting with your friends.
Yes. See ya. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you for being an amazing listener of the No Office podcast. Every other Wednesday, we meet to talk about productivity and hybrid lifestyle, because we believe that work is not a place to go. It's a thing to do. It's a special gift only to No Office podcast listeners. When you sign up for Nozbe using this link, nozbe.com/podcast, you'll get $30 of credits, which you can use to upgrade to Nozbe Premium. Nozbe helps thousands of smart business owners and their teams get their professional and private life organized in a single app in a simple way. And Nozbe is free for up to 3 active projects and 3 people on your team. So start today and claim your free bonus credits, which you will later need to upgrade to unlimited projects. Once again, thank you for being an amazing listener. Thanks for your support and for spreading the word about our No Office podcast and Nozbe. See you and hear you in the next episode, and in the meantime, claim your bonus credits here.